It's drier, but the wind and the waves have definitely picked up in the last 30 minutes. And now our biggest concern was that flooding. Well, it's here. Most of that is cleared up. And now all that's left, if you take a look, are these 5 storage units, U.S. Navy boats loaded up on the back of trucks. This blood is from a woman who police found dead on the ground last night. She was shot to death by a man who barricaded himself in this apartment behind me and eventually killed himself after 3 hours. We do know this is a barricaded situation, and I'll step out of the camera just so you can see the scene. I definitely see fewer police cars. To my surprise, right behind me, there is a boat in the ocean. If you can just zoom in, I just want to show you just how many people are here protesting against Horry County Council's decision to take away Pride Month. As you can see, the building behind me is destroyed, and the entire 3rd floor looks like this piece of burnt metal in my hand. But I also want to show you it's clear down here now. This whole area to the left of me was filled with flood water. I've heard gunshots twice, and the police officer from Horry County Police Department did confirm that was the subject shooting at the police. You can see food trays, plastic bottles, and balls in the water. The Democratic National Committee approved a proposal on Saturday that puts South Carolina first on the party's presidential nominating calendar. Airports across the nation are still canceling a majority of their Southwest flights, including here in Myrtle Beach.
I've lived a long life of addiction, and it gave me a chance to look forward to life.
Amber, who did not want to provide her last name, is a part of the first group of female inmates that were accepted into the Next Steps program at the J. Reuben Long Detention Center. She suffers from drug addiction.
I'm actually glad that I came to jail so that I could actually have an opportunity for something that I would have never done on the outside.
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
The program introduces inmates to multiple pathways of recovery, educational opportunities, and community resources, connecting them with mentors who will help them recover from substance abuse, find jobs, and housing once they are released.
The main thing is that we're able to, create a continuity of care from jail to the community, because that's where a lot of people, fall through the cracks. They leave jail and then what?
Dustin Walter is a treatment director at J. Reuben Long Detention Center. It is Walter's personal connection to substance abuse that motivated him to expand the program to female inmates.
So, I lost my son's mother to addiction.
There are currently 36 female inmates in the Next Steps program. The women must request to be a part of the program and complete an assessment, which includes a 1-page essay on why they should be accepted.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that it's not hard, because I wake up every day thinking about it. I go to sleep every night thinking about it. But gradually, each day has gotten easier for me. For the first time, South Carolinians will have the first say in choosing the Democratic Party's nominee after South Carolina replaced Iowa from its 50-year tradition as the first stop in primary voting.
Momentum is so important when it comes to presidential campaigns. If someone has momentum heading out of South Carolina, they're likely to continue to be very successful in the campaign and to get the nomination.
South Carolina's last Democratic governor, James Hodges, says President Joe Biden's shakeup of the party's 2024 primary calendar is giving Black voters a greater say in the nominating process and creating an easier path for Biden's expected re-election bid.
The Democratic Party's made a big deal about we're a very diverse party, and that should be reflected in how we nominate our president. And Iowa is a largely white state.
Dr. David White is a political science professor at Francis Marion University. He says the state's population is nearly 27% Black, and African American voters represent a consistent base of support for Democrats. However, Republican House Representative Russell Fry says he does not believe the DNC's new primary calendar will impact the Republican Party.
For years, we've said this on the Republican side, and I think it also applies on the Dems side too, is the road to the White House runs through South Carolina. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this unfolds, both for the Republicans and the Democrats.
Despite the approval, the final list is not yet set. South Carolina, Nevada, and Michigan have met party requirements to join the party's new top 5. However, Georgia and New Hampshire have not.
Rocking and rolling, we were really thinking it was going to capsize. I mean, it was shocking to see it. I never thought it was going to make it. It looked really bad. The waves were about 10, 15 feet high.
During a live shot, this shrimp boat, known as the Shana Michelle, washed ashore Friday when Hurricane Ian hit the Grand Strand. The crew was rescued the previous night by the U.S. Coast Guard after experiencing engine failure. The ship has drawn national attention, people from all over the country coming to Myrtle Beach, waiting for the boat to be pushed back into sea, like 5-year-old Chandler Collins from Newport, Tennessee.
I've been in this boat for 2 days.
For 2 days, crews have been working to remove the shrimp boat.
It's been interesting to watch them dig it out. We just didn't know how they were going to do it.
They started digging a trench to the sea Monday, and today 2 large towboats were able to hook themselves to the line that is wrapped around the Shana Michelle and pull it straight back into the water, leaving behind an unforgettable memory for residents and visitors.
I think it just shows the impact of how powerful the storm was. Just the sheer power that it could beach a boat as big as that.
4 hours after the new year, Tanisha Lewis received a call from her sister that her nephew Emmanuel Melvin was shot and killed at the G-Spot nightclub in Longs.
And I was confused and hurt all at the same time.
According to a police report obtained by News 13, Horry County Police responded to a shooting at the club. Upon arrival, officials found Melvin on his back, bleeding from gunshot wounds inside of the business at the entryway. He was breathing at the time, but was pronounced dead at the hospital. 2 others were hurt.
Emmanuel was a remarkable individual.
Melvin's mother, Monica Davis, says he was at the G-Spot to celebrate the new year, a place that has seen its fair share of violence and illegal activity.
We both pretty much grew up in that community.
I lived there.
And its previous name was what? The Big Apple?
Yeah.
Previous name was the Big Apple. It was trouble then. It's trouble now.
Our past reporting and public records indicate there have been at least 6 shooting incidents at this club since 2006. Documents from 2017 show the 15th Circuit Solicitor's Office tried to get the club shut down for 1 year, and the Horry County Police Department responded to the G-Spot 28 times between 2006 and 2017 for calls involving guns, assaults, and drugs. The court granted the petition, but it was suspended as a part of an agreement with the bar's owners, with several requirements over a period of 2 years, including closing at or before 1 a.m. and having SLED certified guards inside and outside the bar.
The doors need to be shut so that no other family has to endure what we're enduring.
When I tried contacting the owner of the G-Spot, she hung up when I asked if she owned the nightclub, and the second time I was sent to voicemail. Melvin's family says their goal is to get the nightclub shut down.
I'm going to be his voice. If something's going to be done,